Normally I would never do this, but just a demonstration for the knuckle dragger that had the nerve to say I don't actually play Rivals. I'm just here fishing for the views. I've enjoyed this game more than most of you. I have lords on more characters than many of you have tried. I have 2,630 hours on this game. So have opinions if you must, but remember,
gave opinions, wasn't needed. Came clutch with a buzzer beater. Beast feast and he eats the beat. Whatever's left, let the buzzers eat it. Quick with it, clean record. Mayweather, undefeated. He came and he saw and he conquered. I got a slay at the concert. You know the story, the tortoise in here. You want the glory, your nose in the air. I couldn't care less about your money, phone, and your pair of shoes and your side hose.
all right, we gotta admit, that transition was pretty damn smooth. What's good, nieces and nephews? Big Unk Chaos, here to give you all my thoughts and opinions on a topic that I've wanted to discuss for a while. Kind of the origin to the whole strategist strike, the whole beef, where it started and where it came from. Specifically also where I think it's going to be going leading up the next couple weeks, especially with the newest drop coming next week, which is going to include some heavy changes to the metagame. If you enjoyed this type of content, be sure to let me know in the comment section because I love covering the topics y'all like hearing from. Oh, and hype the video. I'm trying to get out the hood. Now, before we get too deep into this, yes, I'm going to mention your favorite streamer, Necros. No, I don't hate Necros. No, I don't even dislike him. I watch Necros. I watched Necros for years. I think the guy's funny. I think he trolls people. I think he's a bit of a rage baiter. I think he's done some accidental, goofy stuff, but I never felt as if he did things with the intention of having the impact that they had. That said, I do think that some of the audience, us, tends to take the streamers and content creators' words as law, which leads to a lot of talking points being recycled over. And in this video, I'm just gonna call out everything that I think is kind of a take that just doesn't make a lot of sense relevant to the whole strategist and duelist beef. So back last year, around I think it was like middle summer, maybe late April, Necros basically made the claim that strategist was the easiest role. And a lot of people were like, how are you gonna say it's the easiest role if you hadn't, played it? I know I'm talking about retired points here, but there's a purpose to this. Then Necros proceeded to stomp the yard as a strategist, right? At least that's what the community said. Now, if you go back and look at some of those games, I want you all to take a look at the character Necros was playing in a lot of them. It was Loki. And in a lot of compositions, Necros would pick Loki as the third strategist. He'd do it regardless if the team had two or not. Now, I'm not exactly certain, but I'm pretty sure that's one of the first instances where I had ever seen triple support, where someone had actually, done it. And he was great at doing this just as like a fill thing. But this was back when Loki was doing a good amount of damage. His healing wasn't nearly as high as it is currently, but his damage and rate of fire was much nicer. He also got his ult quicker. So this triple support issue that kind of in certain ways was exemplified by him. You can go back and look at the videos. If I'm wrong, I'll take the L, but go take a look at some of the streams. I remember watching him. He'd play as Loki. He'd just go around, flank the enemy teams and shoot them. That was triple support. I didn't see a single person in those comment sections saying a word. Like genuinely, I saw none of the duelists, none of the strategists, no one pointed it out. Not a single member of the community. So when Necros did this, and he was able to, as he put it, successfully complete the challenge, I think he got to like GM or something like that, something high. It was a respectable rank. I know a lot of you seem to think that Grandmaster is no longer a respectable rank. You can kick rocks on that. If he was able to get there, I will concede easily. He was at least competent enough to shoot, heal, and survive. Because you can't do that by luck, but let's look at the compositions. That created a whole new system. It was created by Necros. Really, look back. I'm not saying he's the first person in the multiverse to do it, but he was the first person that did it, and like no one batted an eye at it. It was completely fine because it was Necros. He was playing a strategist as a duelist, and everyone was okay with it because he was getting bodies. Fast forward now, we have Invisible Woman and Gambit. Two characters who, despite no matter how many times I state they're overtuned, too strong, and obviously need some nerfs, the community still seems to think I have it in my head that they're somehow, perfectly fine for the balance of the game. If you can't listen with both ears when someone's talking, then you're at the wrong channel. I mean, I love engaging with y'all. I love discussions. I really do want a healthy discourse, and I want to keep it P. But I ain't no hoe. You ain't gonna talk to me like some bitch off the street. Watch your mouth in the comments section or get popped. I'll send you to the Shadow Realm. You won't be able to say anything. Because at the end of the day, the only arguments I got were, no, you're wrong. This meta game is terrible. Yes, Invisible Woman and Gambit are too strong. However, there's been seasons upon seasons where duelists dominated. Look back at Johnny Storm. Look back at Hela, Phoenix, Wolverine, Bucky. belt to ass Bucky. Put him in a pack Bucky. Buckshot Bucky. How many nerfs did he get? He was nerfed into the ground and now consistently has been one of the most improved characters overall. No one has a problem when duelists are strong because they see it as their role. So then we look at characters that are healers, you know, people who can traditionally heal, right? And this is one of the few times you'll hear me calling a strategist a healer because they do possess the ability to heal. Why is it that healing too much is a problem, but doing too much damage isn't? This created a irreparable gap in the community because basically the strategist felt like, all right, so we can't be strong. We can't have too much healing because then sustain takes too long. You guys don't want role queue, but you want us to be locked in roles. And it's led to a lot of dissonance and a lot of anger within the community. People are not satisfied or happy with what's going on right now. People do not enjoy fighting up against an invisible woman in a gambit when it feels like you can't kill them. And I respect that. Listen, duelists, listen to what I'm saying. I respect that. That said, y'all need to keep yourselves in check. Because Daredevil puts belt to ass. So many times there are duelists who refuse to even counter swap or change their picks, yet they claim that certain characters are broken. That doesn't make sense. Let me give you some of the best matchups possible when it comes to these characters. For starters, you have Groot. He's amazing against triple support because typically there's either only gonna be one tank or, you know, one DPS. And most of the time you're gonna have one tank. That means he's great for not only putting pressure, but that crowd control element of his ultimate's amazing. Someone else who's good is Moon Knight. He clumps them all together, takes them out in good shots. So many people refuse to swap. Swapping would solve a lot of these issues. Another thing is trust. Being a strategist sucks because, and I would really appreciate if some duels could like genuinely try to hear Unk out on this one. I'm trying to talk to y'all because like I play them too. I love Wolverine. I love Daredevil. I'm a lord on both them bitches. I love those guys. I get what it's like to have that thrill of the chase, the kill, that I'm out there. I'm with you. I'm in this bitch. I was on the outside looking in, but I'm in this bitch now. I get it. But putting your faith into a Spider-Man that goes 1-13 is disheartening. Putting your faith into a solo tank thing because you have a Black Panther, a Spider-Man, and a Magic, so no peeling, all dive. And then you have the same people expecting you to just somehow fight through this by yourself. They're like, oh, well, strategists can figure it out. They're overtuned. This notion of them being overtuned destroys the team, like the team morality, because now you don't even think they're worth helping. Now you have it in their head, they're worth just letting die because, hey, they should be able to protect themselves. No! That's like a snake eating its own ass. You're creating the problem you hate because by doing that, you're forcing the devs to make strategists stronger to protect themselves. This beef has all started because essentially people heard from one person, Necros again, the strategist was the easiest role and they took it too damn literal. Like, look, it's not Necros' fault this happened. That needs to be stated in case anyone's confused. This isn't Necros' fault. I don't think anyone thinks it is. It's you all who are too impressionable. You got to use more of your IQ to understand that just because someone has an opinion doesn't mean that their opinion is right. They're not God. It's because some knucklehead says role queue would be bad for the game because they didn't like it because they only played DPS and Overwatch for the past 5 years. Not a shot, that's just a fact. For some of y'all, you know who you are, or tank. Hell no, tanks didn't have that issue. It was just, it's always the most popular class. Like, I don't want it to seem like this is just a shit on Duelist Fest. But it really genuinely comes down to what class is most popular. And why is it most popular? Because it allows you the most freedom. You get to go out and do your own thing. Find health packs. You're typically faster. You're typically stronger. So typically you should win one-on-ones. Now we have games where the devs are realizing people have to do their own thing. Everyone's on a one-on-one now. No one's gonna peel, then yes, they're gonna be strong. You're not just gonna beat a strategist one-on-one. You're not entitled to that win. And strategists are not entitled to wins just because they do a bunch of healing. That's what the reason, like a lot of the community is coming down to people just not trusting each other to do their damn jobs. If every strategist knew that the duelists would not go 2-13, they would just heal. There's no reason not to. And if every duelist knew that if they peeled, it would actually have value, it would actually mean something, that their strategists wouldn't be dog shit, because there are dog shit strategists. There are dog shit strategists. There are dog shit strategists. And if duelists didn't have to worry about that, maybe they would peel a little bit more. Maybe if they knew if they came back, maybe Spider-Man would come back and grab that Venom and pull him off the map if he knew you would actually throw him some heals. The community lacks trust. And that's exactly what's leading us up to the Marvel Rivals Civil War that I've been talking about. But that's a topic for another day. Anyways, y'all, I've been Chaos, y'all been y'all. Be sure to check out my other topics on these discussions. This is Chaos Corner, episode 15. I really appreciate y'all supporting these videos. Thank you all for watching. Watch on the video, like the video, share the video. Oh, and be sure to tell your auntie I said hi.